Hi, it's Louise at Spiral Bright Insight. It's the 4th of November and I'm just here with a energy check-in, a few sort of observations about the chart and also some gene key sort of insight and yeah, I guess a little share about what's going on with me as well. So 4th of November, the sun is today conjunct a crux, and I have shared my sort of thoughts and insight about the energy of that fixed star. So please do go back and watch that if you are interested in learning more about a crux. We also have the sun in a trine to Saturn. So both sun and Saturn are both at 12 degrees of water signs, Pisces and Scorpio. So they're working really, really well together. But whenever there is a connection with Saturn, we have to sort of stop and take things a little bit more seriously. Saturn is sort of the father figure, the time lord, the master in many ways. And with the sun sort of in trine, there is this sense of, we may feel like we have to grow up perhaps, but if that's not quite resonating, maybe it's a bit of a reality check today as these two planets align, but because they are in water signs, it doesn't feel harsh, it doesn't feel severe, it feels like it's very gentle, it's very supportive, it's very flowing, there's lots of ease, potentially also because Saturn in Pisces, again, there's this sense of, it might be a time when you just have to let go of something, something that you've been trying to hold on to, that you've been trying to perhaps dictate in some ways, that you've been trying to control and steer things in a certain direction. With the sun coming into this really beautiful trine today, it's kind of saying, just let go, just allow things to take their course, allow the water to flow, allow, the river to sweep you along, let go of the edges, let go of the sides, and just trust in this journey. So, yes, there is a reality check for sure, but equally, there is a real sense that if you let go and surrender, then, you are potentially opening yourself up to things that you hadn't considered before, that, maybe you were blocking or sort of restricting from coming in. Now, the big sort of news of the day for me is that Mars is now in Leo at 0 degrees of Leo. So still in opposition to Pluto, we're not sort of through that energy by any stretch, but as Mars moves into Leo, there is a shift of energy. And so Leo, is the sun's ruling sign. This is a sign of sort of, it's a fire sign, but very much linked to light, to expression, to sort of nobility and to royalty as well. But it's not about royalty in the sense of, royal families or sort of having to look up to someone and idolize someone. This is about finding your own inner royalty, stepping into your own inner sovereignty, taking charge, having the courage and the confidence to really sort of speak your truth and shine your light and show up for who you are without any apologies. So with Mars in Leo over the next few weeks, he is going to come back in retrograde. So he will station retrograde in Leo in early December. But we've got these few weeks sort of leading up to early January. So we've got this real time to, really claim our right to be who we want to be, to express ourselves with ultimate freedom and confidence and courage of our conviction. And also, for me, because Leo is very much linked to the heart, this is a real heart opening opportunity, an opportunity to really step into our heart consciousness and perhaps move slightly away from the head, although, that is There's nothing wrong with being in the head, but step into the heart and have compassion for what you are experiencing, have compassion for yourself, and have compassion for people around you. So definitely a time to shine your light bright. You know, if you have been playing small, then Mars in Leo is going to perhaps push you a little bit further into the spotlight, and have, you know, allow that energy to give you the confidence to do that and to be that. Because, you know, there is this sense that we all come in with these unique and individual gifts, something special that we have to contribute that no one else can do in the way that we choose to or able to do, you know. So again, you know, there's no point and no benefit and no ground in really comparing yourself to the next person. It is about really claiming who you are and it really expressing and allowing your core sort of energetic signature to flow through. So, you know, you've got a real green light here just to go and to be yourself and to be proud of it, you know, because again, Leo is, you know, a very proud sign, but you know, there is nothing wrong with that. I think sometimes we think, oh, if you're sort of loud and proud, then that is something to, you know, be criticized or critiqued. But actually, no, this is very much about feeling the motivation and the drive to just go out there and show up and, you know, roar if you have to, if you've got something that you need to say. We've also got Venus, Moon, Mercury all in Sagittarius. So combined with Mars now in Leo, and also Chiron and Eris in Aries, there is a lot of fire in this chart. But we've also got a lot of water because Saturn and Neptune is still in Pisces, and obviously the Sun is in Scorpio. So what happens when you get water and fire? There's a lot of steam. So, you know, this is going to energetically create more confusion, more sort of nebulous, you know, just lots of illusion. It's going to be hard to really see through, to get clarity, to perhaps see what is real, what's not. You know, smoke clouds can really obscure, make it really difficult to kind of know and see and feel what is going on. So just be mindful of that. Of course, we also have a lot of hot air. So steam creates, you know, fire and water is hot air effectively. So, you know, there's a lot of that going on as well in our world, but just be mindful of that. And, you know, don't, I want to say, don't sort of, you know, get dragged along without checking in with yourself, first of all, to make sure that whatever it is you're sort of, I don't know, being drawn into is right. You know, this is about really having strong discernment at this time, just in the knowledge and the awareness that there is a lot of confusion, a lot of smoke, a lot of mirrors, a lot of clouds, a lot of illusion sort of taking place at this time. Now, we also have, I want to say that Pluto and Uranus actually are both in earth signs, you know, so normally, you know, if where you've got earth, it is grounding, it is stabilizing, it is giving you something to hold on to. But unfortunately, because Pluto's minutes away from changing signs and Uranus is probably the least stabilizing energies in all of astrology, you know, I don't think we can really rely on them to hold the space, although, you know, ultimately they are there doing their work, doing their job to kind of bring about transformation, bring about awakening. So, you know, I honor what they're doing, but I'm going to say really strong fire, really strong air, and that is tending to be the real focus. Now, the other thing that is really interesting, we are going into tomorrow, we're going to move into gene key number 1. So this is the first of the series of 64 gene keys. And this is sort of all about new beginnings, about creativity, about life force, about being unique, having joy, finding joy, feeling positive, sort of claiming freshness, vibrancy, all of those beautiful energies come through as a gift with gene key number 1. So when we're in the shadow of gene key number 1, there can be a lot of disorder and chaos, which again, it's not hard to see how that might be manifesting. We can feel really uncertain, we can lack enthusiasm, we can lack sort of motivation, we can be resistant to change, we can sort of fall back on what we've already known, but and that can lead to low energy levels, feeling depleted, feeling overwhelmed. But with the gift of this gene key number 1, which it's like a spark, it's something new, it is reminding us that being unique and claiming what it is that makes us each as individuals unique and special is the biggest sort of step we can take at this time. It's the biggest contribution that we can make to the collective when we take what it is that we have come here to contribute, to share, to channel, to express. That is when we can really step into feeling more whole and more complete. And again, I'm drawn back to the Leo energy here, because when we are strong, when we have strong Leo, we feel whole. There is a real sense of completeness. And again, with gene key 1, this is what we're sort of being driven towards. So trusting in your creative force, your creative inspiration, knowing that you have this spark inside of you. You are a powerhouse. You just have to let it flow, allow it to flow, have the confidence and the courage to let it flow. And and as you do so, your power, your life force, your creativity, your vibrancy is going to be activated, and it's going to really light you up. And as you claim your own sense of self, you sort of connect to your own inner drive, your inner flame, your inner passion. You are then able to, in very strong position, to inspire people around you. And that is how we get something going, something really new and something really exciting. So it also reminds us, as we're working with this gene key, that you have to really focus on you. And again, I think in society we're often sort of accused of being selfish or self-centered when we focus on the self, but actually it reminds us that the only person that can get something off the ground really, truly is you. So if there's something that you want to do, something you want to say, something that you feel has been bubbling away, for however long, and it feels like it wants to be birthed, wants to be brought into reality, into existence, then you have to have the courage of your conviction, and that I keep saying that, to really just go for it and to make it happen. Don't allow people around you to criticize or to put you down, or to, I want to say, the naysayers, the people that perhaps don't have the courage to do something themselves, and so therefore by you shining your light, you're going to somehow make them feel uncomfortable. This is about having the courage just to drive through, obviously with respect, with compassion and consideration for other people. This isn't about completely, throwing everything to the wind, but don't allow yourself to be distracted or influenced, especially if people are trying to prevent you or discourage you from doing something that deep down is right and that you really, really want to do. So it's about bringing something unique into the world, and really connecting to that inner fire. Now, and as we do so, the siddhi of the gene key number 1 is coming into this unity and this oneness and this radiance, this primal force that sort of flows through us all, but we often have to ignite what it is within us before we can then play that into the wider collective. So really, really beautiful energy to be coming through. And I think having Mars in Leo this time, shining really bright, sort of driving that beautiful, heart-centered, playful, courageous, noble, regal energy through for all of us is exactly what we need, to carry us through, because we are in remarkably challenging times as we move through these next few weeks. So having Mars in Leo is going to be a really beautiful light and drive to kind of keep us going and just remind us, what it is, why we're here. The other thing about this gene key 1 or gate number 1, and when we consider it more from human design, is, you know, putting yourself first, and that also includes putting your body first. And again, this is coming through really clear, very loud and clear to me, as I have had a few weeks where I've let a lot of stuff get on top of me. And I think just kind of observing how I responded to that, I started to, you know, fall back on eating foods that I knew perhaps weren't, you know, the best for my physique, for my body. I was drinking more, you know, than I should have done. And really, although I thought I was taking care of myself, when I look back, I clearly wasn't. And, you know, very quickly, my body's very good at giving me feedback, and, you know, almost instantly, I've got a few things going a little bit haywire. So I made the decision over the weekend that I want to sort of have a reset, which is very in line with this sort of number 1 energy, and you know, and really think about, you know, my diet. I'm having a little bit of a cleanse. I'm going to try fasting for the first time. You know, it's something I've read about and been told about for so long, and I know that my body is saying, yes, this is a really, really good idea. So it's like, just find ways to take the pressure off yourself if you can. And, you know, it doesn't always need to be pressure in the head. You know, if there's things that you can do to alleviate pressure in your body, like, you know, just looking at what you eat, pressure on the liver in particular is coming up, you know, and again, whether that's just for me personally or not, I'm feeling called to share it. So, you know, again, we're all at different stages, we're all experiencing the energy very differently, but this was coming through really clearly for me that I just need to just bring some ease into my physical body, because I know that when my physical body is in a state of more balance, then that reflects on my mind and my emotional state and my mental state. And therefore, you know, I can come much more easily into balance again. I hope that has sort of helped. Perhaps it's resonated, perhaps it's given you something to think about. But yeah, as always, you know, I'm just sharing what's coming up for me and how I can sort of translate it or interpret it in terms of the energies with the astrology and, you know, the slightly bigger picture in some respects. So thanks for watching. I'm Louise at Spiral Bright, and I will be back soon.